From Florida.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from New York, actually.
I lived upstate for a while.
Where
Rochester.
upstate? A lot of people from Rochester.
Yeah, I was in the inner city. It was like a pretty, it was a very educational time in my life.
Living in Rochester was educational?
Yeah, well, the inner city was like very, I don't even know the word, low income.
Oh, yeah, broke people.
Broke people doing whatever they can for money. A lot of crime.
I hear that. I was just interviewing, do you know Karma RX?
Yes, very well.
Speaking of doing anything for money, no, it was great because she has such an amazing background. Like she went from doing like meth and being homeless to like...
Same.
Really?
I'm coming up on 3.
Was meth your...
No, cocaine was.
Okay, coke.
Yeah.
Which like...
I did meth a few times. I just, the act of doing coke was like more gratifying for me because I like constantly doing it.
You liked the sniffing.
Yeah, I like the whole act of it. Like the meth was like, God, I don't have to do as much of this.
How do you even... Meth is not... No, you don't inject it. You smoke it.
No, you snort it, smoke it, shoot it, snort it.
I sound like I know nothing about drugs. I have done drugs, Seth. I've done Molly. I've done that.
Do you need some help? I mean, I'm doing a meeting on Friday night for...
No, I don't need
I
help.
just fucking...
You're not that... I thought you were asking if I needed help, like, putting in the microphone, and I was like, oh my God.
No, I'm just messing around.
He knows I'm not that good at this.
No. No, yeah, it's kind of nutty. I got in the business when I was 18, and, I partied throughout my career until I was about 28, tried to get sober, and then I couldn't do it, and then I almost died in my bedroom when I was 29.
Oh my God.
And then last year at AVN, good stuff happened, and then this year that last award show went well for me, and hopefully this one does too. And
You're giving me Jake Gyllenhaal vibes. Do you get that a lot?
yes.
Yeah.
I've gotten that since I was younger. And they were like, oh, Donnie Darko, and now I'm Prince of Egypt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't want to ask the questions that like everybody... Oh, good God, this fucking tripod.
Hopefully you did some research.
I did some research, yeah. That's so funny. Whenever I do my show, it's like the guy's like, oh, I'm researching your guests. And it's like, nah, I know what you mean.
Well, it's like anybody who does interviews, right? I mean, like some of the best people you ever do interviews, they're asking questions, and sometimes the person getting interviewed is like, oh my man, like I haven't thought about that,
Yeah.
Like, and it's like
that's what I want to do. I want to make people think. So you had a nose ring?
No.
No? Okay, I thought you had a
It's a
nose
scar.
ring. It just was a scar.
You're like the 100th person to ever say that to me, too.
Okay, so I have to do
people
better to... All right, so you're the reigning best actor, top male. What are you nominated for this year?
Male Performer of the Year, Best Actor, two best boy-girl-girl scenes, a best boy-boy-girl scene, and an orgy scene.
Okay, a lot of my guy friends are like, oh, I could never... First of all, they're all like 300 pounds, and it's like they would never do porn anyway. Not 3. I'm probably like
there's a niche
2
for everything,
something.
right?
Yeah.
So.
I have guy friends who are like, oh, I would never, do a scene with another guy because I don't want our dicks to touch. You must hear that, like, from...
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, when I first got into porn, I felt the same way. I think that's just kind of like the way that our society was programmed for many years. I think that at the end of the day, like, I feel like it's almost, when you do scenes with it's not about me or the other guy. Like, you know what I mean? We're not the focal point of what this is. Like, I'm a dude what guy doesn't like having sex with girls, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's like, my focus always during a scene is like what I would like to happen. Obviously days are different, but like if my perfect day at work would be like a connection between me and the girl and me understanding her body enough and our chemistry enough to get each other off as much as we can.
And also it's like, you're doing a job. It's like...
Yeah.
And really it's
and if a girl likes 2 dudes at once and that gets her off, that's what I focus on.
Yeah.
Right? So like, then in hindsight, I'm not really thinking about like if our dicks are touching, like, and I'm not thinking about like that's not like really what the goal is. Like, shit's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Almost like you have to be like, that seems like such a superficial concern, and it's like you want to get to a place where you're above that and you're not, if you're thinking
think
about
it,
that, yeah.
I mean, really, generally, because of what like society has kind of brought upon men as that being a thing. It's like when you can be comfortable with all these different situations. Imagine like being comfortable in situations before you wouldn't even think about being comfortable in, because if you're comfortable with that, to most society, that's like wow, you must be really comfortable with your own skin. I mean, that's
Yeah.
always I think that's the goal for everybody, right? To be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
You are. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have Spanx, you know, so people are comfortable.
That's true. I love that.
It sounded like you were getting to this. Do you think there is a lot of like ingrained homophobia in our society?
I think there has been throughout time. I think we're finally at a stage in time where like there's a lot of fear being removed because people are realizing, like the younger generation is realizing that it just isn't right. You know what I mean? At least for the United States of America. I mean, you look at other countries, there's stuff that we would find completely terrible, but in our country, we're starting to see like human rights, no matter what they are, whoever you are, is the right thing. That's something I've always believed, but I think that was ingrained, especially like as time went on, because you know, at the end of the day, it was like, this is what the country, we all portray different times and stuff like that, and we all just go by what society kind of showed us. So. And
it's amazing, like we might think, oh, like America's so behind in like XYZ, but then you look at another country and you're like, oh wow, they're even more behind. Like we
could always look somewhere else and be like, well, here's this and here's that. But at the end of the day, it's like we're evolving as much as we can at the time period that we can, and it's all happening, and it's scaring a lot of people that don't understand it and can't find, because like it's like if you're ingrained with something and things society whatever can't.
We know. We'll cut that out of post.
Things change. Yeah, things change.
You're great.
Yeah, so things change. You either adapt to the change and find understanding and remove ignorance, or you continue to be ignorant and then your life becomes a lot harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You sound very self-aware. Do you go to therapy? I do a lot of things. Work on yourself?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I was a train wreck, you know. So, you know, when you've lived a life that's been difficult and like a lot of demons and self-worth issues and stuff like that, like my day-to-day life consists of self-awareness and stuff like that. Yeah, I go to therapy, I meditate, I do cryotherapy, I'm doing Rolfing right now. It's like with the 10 series thing.
Oh, is that like LARPing?
Something. It's a weird, so it's called structural integration. Mm-hmm. So it's like what they do is like your body, as time goes on through stress, trauma, and all these different things, there's a book actually, it's called The Body Keeps the Score. Right, so because like things break down, you hold stress in your body. All these different things, right? So like there's a 10 series session by the 8, 9, and 10. You literally feel like almost like a form of an awakening.
Wow.
So it's pretty dope. I'm like coming up on my 4th and 5th one. So, but it's interesting having to do this, going through this emotional stuff, being aware of it, and then working at the same time. It's a lot, you know. So it's like also being, you know, kind to myself during the process. But it's cool. I like self. I'm really into growth.
Me too. That's all I do. I was listening to like a Gary V audio book cool. on the plane ride over, just because it's the only thing that worked on my phone, because it was an old audio book, and I was like the point that I loved is like, well, let's say you have a day job like I do. You know, I do stand up, and then I do this like sex dating relationship show in New York on the side, like Monday nights, but I also like very much still have a day job, because I'm like, I don't want to be like most stand-up comics who just like eat ramen and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna live like really below the radar, man. I'm just gonna wear the same sweatpants every day. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm like, sure, I'll keep working this day job so I can like have a salad sometimes. And
sounds good.
Gary Vee was like, oh, you gotta like, let's say you have a day job. What are you doing with the 12 other hours in your day? And I was like, wow. It just was like, it put it all into perspective. Like, you can always be hustling. You can always be working on yourself. All the books I read are like some form of like, I hate calling them self-help. I mean, that's the section they're in.
It is what it is. Like, it's all like, you know, we're all trying to grow and have more like self-awareness. I mean, that's what's really great. It's like, instead of thinking negatively, you think like, I think my girlfriend was talking about this earlier today, like, sometimes when you have a negative thought, you just say interesting.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Because then it's like, people don't realize like the more they're feeling these towards other people and other things, like I feel this, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. It then hurts you, and I'm too selfish for it to hurt me anymore. Like that's one thing I've ever learned about myself. Like I'm recovering. I'm in recovery.
Yourself bulletproof. Yeah.
I'm in recovery alcoholically from alcohol and all this other stuff. So I literally don't want to feel like shit, and I'm too selfish to feel like shit. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to not feel that way. And then in general, I'm making everybody else feel good because I feel good, right? So that's important, great. You know, to me.
Like your job is literally to make people feel good.
Yeah, literally in all forms.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
So you have a girlfriend. How long have you been dating her?
We've been together almost 4 years.
How does she have a tough time?
She does this.
She does this too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even though you guys are in the same industry, is there ever any like jealousy?
I mean, we all go through moments, you know, like I think, but in general too, there's like I'm very lucky because my girl's basically a lesbian who's in love with me, so that works out for me pretty well.
Really? So was she a lesbian before meeting you?
I don't know. I think I think she just digs more women more than men. It's just I don't know. Maybe she just thinks I'm pretty like a girl or something. I don't know.
You're pretty like a girl.
I don't fucking know.
You're very manly.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just messing around.
How did you meet her? Did you meet her working like on a
No. She had DM'd me.
Is it somebody I know? Is it somebody
Kenzie Taylor?
Okay. Oh, I'm interviewing her. I think tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So she had DM'd me on Twitter and just like hard eyes or some shit like years ago, and I was like, oh, this girl's hot, you know. And then I kind of hit her up to go on a date, and she blew me off. And then she blew me off again, and then blew me off again.
No.
And then finally I was like, yo, listen, like, I'm done. Like, I'm here right now at this time. If you don't meet me here now, just please do not DM me. Do not hit me up ever again. Like,
wow.
I'm done.
What a tease.
It was beyond tease. It was borderline disrespectful at this point. And then we met that night, and she and then, you know, she was like,
did you bang on the first date?
You know what? I'm gonna let her tell the story. You know what I mean? She's interviewing too. I'm gonna let her tell the story. I feel like it's it's better for her to tell the story. Because but we had some fun, and then kind of like I don't know. I was at a point in my life at that time where I was, downtrodden quickly, and we both both fell together and got up together.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of we've been through a lot, and it's I'm really lucky. I think we're both really lucky to have each other. So. Yeah.
Aww. Yeah. Well, I've been doing a couple interviews today. Word on the street is that you have the best tasting cum. That is literally what somebody said in an interview because I asked them who, and you were named.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What's your secret?
I don't fucking know.
Really?
I literally don't do anything.
You just live.
I'm a tasty motherfucker. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I seriously, that's like a huge compliment. I love that.
Yeah, did you not know?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I've heard like the girls be like, "Wow, you taste good." I just didn't know that was like a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Girls talk between each other. Like I'm like one of those people. Like, I don't want this kind of information. You know what I mean? It's a lot of pressure. Like, what if I have a day or it's chlorine or something? I don't.
Like you were swimming and like I swallowed a lot of water in the pool that day.
Like, I don't know. My balls just decided to be a little sour today. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that like eating celery helps.
I don't do any of that
eating
shit.
Pineapple, nothing.
I don't do that shit.
Because it was actually Emma Hicks who told me.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do anything.
And then I said, well, who has the worst cum? And she was like, I don't want to say.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, do you ever try to throw him any hints? Like leave a little bag of celery in his dressing room? Or she's like, actually, sometimes when I'm eating pineapple, I'm like, wow, this is really good pineapple. Do you want some? And I was like,
I do eat relatively. I try to eat very healthy in general. I just take good care of myself. But even it was weird because like I heard the same thing even when I was like partying like a disgusting like vile.
Even when you were like living an unhealthy life.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Still a tasty motherfucker.
I guess my balls just they're just like they're like, hey, sweet time.
Your balls are looking at you like, hey, buddy, like we want to be here for you.
That might be why all those girls stuck around when I was like not the best to be around. They're like, you know what? You taste like something good. I don't know. I don't know. But that's an awesome compliment. I love that.
Yeah, I would figure, like with comedy, all of us comedians sleep with each other just because it's like, I don't know if it's similar to porn.
I sleep with comedians too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anybody I know?
I don't know. Do you?
I know lots of them. I've been doing comedy for like 10 years. Just because, and some people say, oh, I'm never going to sleep with another comedian again. I'm like, well, that's who's around. Like, that's who's, it's like if there's a bunch of people at a homeless shelter, it's like, these are who you're around. Of course you're going to, like, bang them, But I also think, I think that's so true. It's like, but that's also like the age-old tale when you get too drunk the next day, you're like, I'm never drinking again. And then, like, you're like having one 2 hours later. You end up in somebody's joke. You're like, I'm never sleeping with that comic again. What is your biggest fear?
Mediocrity.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Being average.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not. You're up for some awards. So.
I know, but like, I think that's why.
Yeah. It pushes you.
I think I've had more fears in my life. I've had plenty of fears in my life. I went through a period after I did a large movie this year, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, but I went through a lot of older fears that I kind of had rid myself of because I was getting into a character. So at the time, it was like I was fearing. At that time, I felt like scared of everything. I was like scared of I mean, I was in tons of self-doubt and stuff like. So I've gone through those periods, but like at this point in my life, I feel like I'm fear of being average, fear of mediocrity, and I don't really. That's kind of just the mindset I try to stay in. Because like I'd been through periods in my life where failure was a fear, you know. But at the end of the day, if you don't fail, you never succeed. So you know, it's like one of those kind of things. But
the movie you're talking about, is it about to come out? Or
no, it's out. It's nominated for it.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, no, I definitely at this point right now today, I think that's the only thing. I just want to just an average and mediocrity to me, what that represents is like not doing everything I can to be my best and to elevate myself, no matter, and that doesn't have to necessarily mean like some type of cash and prizes. Meaning like emotionally, physically, spiritually, I'm mediocre. Like I'm not revolving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't want to be just this. I've been that person, so I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be someone who grows.
So what are the things that you have to do to make sure? Is it a daily thing? Like, what are the things that you have to do to make sure you're on this path?
Oh my God, that's a whole morning routine we're talking about at this point. But I'd give you another fear of relapsing. Like, I don't ever want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Because I know what one will do. Like, I'm very clear on how far I can go.
What do you do to keep yourself from relapsing? What are the things that you know about yourself?
I have a very clear understanding of what alcoholism and addiction is. I know what it is, like without a doubt. It's very hard to explain to people, even people that have it and don't think they have it. I know what it is, and it has nothing to do with the actual stuff. It has to do with my head, and the fact that most people always want to, like, we're in a society where we want more, right? We'll multiply that by 20, and that's my brain. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, that just incurs with everything in my life, and I see it in other areas that I don't even realize it consciously sometimes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I can literally see it when I'm not doing the drugs and drinking, then it makes it very clear that I shouldn't. I also surround myself with a community of people that, you know, we support each other, and, like, I've worked to myself. I go to therapy. I meditate. I work out a lot. I do different things for, like, self-care, growth, and stuff like that. And plus, it's like, you know, my sobriety has to come first, so I always put that first in my life.
Wow.
And everything else kind of, like, I'm here because of that. Like, I just always find my life. That's pretty much how I look at it. So.
That's really amazing. It sounds like you really do a lot, not just to work on yourself to get clean, but, like, just to maintain, and, like, by putting that I mean, that's amazing. It's just like you're so self-aware, and you're, like, you know, you're making yourself your own priority.
Well, like, the fact is, I'm more fucked up than most, and, like, I have to do more to not be fucked up.
How are you more fucked up than most?
Just meaning, like, there's more about me eccentrically that I have to constantly keep at bay because of the little guy in my head that I call Rufus.
Rufus.
Because it's suffer backwards.
Does he sit, like, right here?
Yeah, he just wants me to suffer. And he's like, fuck you, bro. It's all good. Fuck that bitch.
Go to the after party.
Judge that person. Judge that person. Fuck that person. That's a piece of shit. Da 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 da. And, like, it's constantly, like, reshifting and reprogramming the thinking. Because the thoughts that are nasty hurt me.
Yeah. And that's something that people don't really think of. Like, yeah, they go, okay, I'm in control of what I eat. I'm in control of, like, what I put in my body.
I ain't in control of shit.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've realized. That's the thing. That's what addiction is, and that's in a nutshell for me. It's the fact that you want to control shit you can't control. And then it just trickles into everything other part of your life. This didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, how I wanted it to happen. I didn't get my way, so I'm going to fucking bite down on this fucking thing as long as I possibly can. That's just not realistic. You're going to be miserable all the time.
Do you think you're in control of your thoughts?
I think I have a better understanding of them. I'm not in control of my thoughts, but I can observe them and not attach to them.
Yeah, that's perfect. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna let this thing pass through instead of, like, you have to, it's like.
No, because I think crazy shit. Like, shit that's just, like, off the wall, like, I might kill that bitch right there. Like, why did I just...
You think, like, oh, I could. Yeah, like, I'll sometimes see an old lady cross the street.
Like,
I'll be like, I could push that lady into traffic, but I'm not. Like, it's just I think it's having an overactive imagination.
Yeah, it's just very, you know, I can, like, get judgy and stuff like that, and I can be very, like, you know, my head will do that stuff, but it doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the growth. It's like understanding that all my thoughts aren't real, but then also realizing that there's time where you do have control of your thoughts are, like, really connected. You're very connected to your thoughts, and then then the law of attraction in me comes in, and you can focus on what you actually want. And a lot of times that shit might actually happen.
Yeah,
and that's a trip.
It took me a long time to realize that, like, the whole, like, what you focus on expands, and, like, you really have to choose your thoughts as carefully as, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, not eat this disgusting meal versus, like, this healthy stuff.
And that happens to me all the time. Like, I'll drive by, like, I might feel funny, and I'm like, God damn, I love a fucking double cheeseburger from McDonald's. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. And just it's weird. Like, just I don't even do it consciously anymore. It's like that's just gonna make me feel like shit. Like, I'm gonna eat that, and then someone's gonna hate me if they live with me later. Do
you live with your girlfriend?
Yeah. So it's like, it's just in general, like, I don't know.
Was she the first woman you lived with?
No.
I've
lived with plenty of women.
Yeah.
I've been with plenty of women, dated plenty of women.
How old are you?
I'll be 32 next month.
Oh, okay. Still older than you. It's fine. No.
That's fine.
You
win.
Nobody wins. I don't know. I think it's because it's like so many girl comics, like, don't talk about their age. But I'm like, who gives a shit? I mean, like, it doesn't matter as much, like, I don't know. I think it matters more maybe for porn than it does for comedy, because it's like, well, all that matters is that, like, you're funny,
Yeah.
What is the hardest part about your job?
Don't
answer the obvious. Like, my dick.
Right. I think the hardest part of my I think the hardest part of my job is engaging different personalities and the constant search of constantly being comfortable in those situations. No matter what the situation is, just constantly being comfortable, find a way to be comfortable in those situations. I think that to me would be the hardest part, because everything else is pretty. I've been doing this long enough where it's like fun and I love it. But it's also like, different people don't mesh with different people, or like, just finding connections with people, or like not taking things personally here and there. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I think we're all prone to at times.
Like, if someone doesn't swallow your cum, like, I won't take it personally. But I wouldn't believe that, because you've got the best tasting in the world.
Well, I just think with productions, like, just being able to gauge, like, this person's more laid back, this person's more chill. The people, less about with the girl than more about, like, the crew shooting you.
Okay, wow.
You see what I'm saying? I think that's really important for me at this point. I mean, other than that, it's like just finding ways to, like, make everybody comfortable on set and feel comfortable yourself, and get the best performance and product you can get. I think that's I don't think anything else is. I wouldn't say that's hard, but I think that's the goal. I don't know what else I could say would be hard about the job.
Yeah.
Maybe
that sounds
maybe
good.
dry vagina is probably. That's not fun.
What's your favorite lube?
What's my favorite lube? I don't know. I've switched around with, like, I guess at the moment silicone is pretty fun. Hybrid's good too.
Yeah, mix it with some, like, cayenne
One
pepper.
that doesn't dry up. You know what I mean? That's my favorite lube.
Yeah.
I fucking hate coconut oil. I think it's the dumbest.
Everyone is talking about coconut oil like it's, like, the next sliced bread.
It's the terrible form of lube.
Does it, like, I've never tried it.
It's not good for you. Like, it's literally, like, it's good for you to ingest. There's, like, this big misconception. It's coconut oil. It's organic. And it's this and that. It's, like, literally, when you use coconut oil on your skin, like, sometimes you get a soft effect to it, but it actually gets so deep in your pores that it could, like, actually be bad for your skin.
Whoa.
So it's actually not as good for you. People think, oh, it's antiviral, anti-infective. It's like, it's just not. That's not what it's meant for. Like, it's just not. It's not what it's meant for. And that's just what I think, and that's my opinion. Other people think differently, but.
Yeah. Cool. Wait, what time is it? I want to make sure I don't go over into your.
You're good.
You're good. Woo! I should keep a little stopwatch.
Good. Really good.
Cool. Who's the most fun you've ever worked with?
Fuck, man, that's not fair.
Oh, right, that's not fair because your girlfriend's in the industry.
Well, that's not even in general. Like, I have so many girls in the industry that of course, my girlfriend, like, we give that as a given, but, like, I can talk about recently, like, this year, like, girls that are fun. Angela White's one of my favorite. We've done some amazing work together. Emily Willis is really great. I like this girl, Kira Croft. She's a lot of fun. I just did this great thing with Charlotte Sart. She's a lot of fun. We did this thing for this site called Deeper. It was pretty cool. And who else is good? Gia Durza. Jane Wild's really
Chrissy
great.
Mayr. Oh.
She's good.
Sorry, just like
Chrissy May.
Mayr.
This person, she's great.
Me.
Sure, her. Those are just a couple. I mean, there's so many of them. Like, I think everybody you just have a different. you just find new connections with different people. It's dope, you know.
And that's what I was wondering. Like, does it come down to a chemistry, something that's inherently there, or is it like something that they bring to the work, like enthusiasm? Or...
I think that comes with it, but I think every performer looks at it differently. I think there are male performers that don't think about that part of it. They're like, He-Man fuckboys. And like, I was that way too. And I've been there too. But I think at this point in my career, I think what has elevated me to where I am now is because I look at it more as a passion thing than anything. And I think that's where, if you look at some of the top male performers that have elevated themselves, that's what their main objective is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about the girl, making them happy, making them look good, making them have fun.
That's also what makes for a excellent boyfriend. I mean, yeah. I just think like that's so much crossover. Hope you're watching this, Frank.
Well, that's it. If you're performing, especially on camera, it's like, to me, like a viewer wants to see the girl like squirming, having a good time, making herself come a bunch of times. So I just, but and the chemistry between someone, you watch a movie and it's intense, you feel that intensity.
Right.
So if you watch a porn movie
and you're feeling it,
intensity, that's what separates you. So I think that's the important part, and I think that's a lot of people I just think that comes with time and age, and also like, it's like fine wine, like you just age into that. Just like from my experience, I don't know.
Is this shaved or waxed? What's happening here?
It's just trimmed.
Yeah.
Just like I use a buzzer. I get kind of like Austin Powers-y after a while.
Have you ever had anything waxed?
No.
No.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
Sounds
I think the worst part of the waxing.
40-year-old virgin just ruined it for me.
Yeah, the small talk is the worst part. She's like, "Do you have boyfriends?" It's for whoever.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's see. No, I feel like this was a good interview. I'm really happy, Seth. This was great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're pretty funny too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You're a comedian, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was trying to be like a real serious.
Yeah, we got all like self-worth talk
Like
shit,
a
like
newswoman.
self-help shit.
Yeah.
So we got like into some interesting things.
But that's so
probably
important.
Porn people don't really talk about much. Huh?
It's so important because I also, I don't want to ask you questions that you're tired of answering.
You can ask me those too.
And also,
Quick 10 question rundown of the questions everybody asks me.
Okay, ready?
Really quick.
Okay, favorite position?
Mish.
Mish?
Why not?
What is mish? Mashed potatoes?
Missionary.
Oh, missionary. Oh, I was like,
come on, we keep going.
Okay.
This is speed questions.
What is your dick circumference? The width?
Circumference? I've never measured it.
Measured?
It's extra medium. Let's keep going.
What size shoe are you?
10.5.
Ooh. What are you doing tomorrow at noon? I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to throw you off. What's your skincare regime?
Showering.
Okay. How old were you when you first got into porn?
18.
What made you get into porn?
Legal problems. That's serious.
What are your goals? What are your career goals?
Career goals, to continue to do the best work I possibly can, eventually direct and produce my own content, perform maybe in that content, have my own business. That's my goal.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Yes.
Rapid fire, baby. Seth Campbell, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just trying to trick you. That's all.
Good luck.
Let me see.